easy do-it-yourself vinyl siding repair. Now, fixing vinyl siding can be a real pain in the neck. It's really hard to go out and buy a new piece because you'll never match the color. Usually vinyl siding fades over time. The key to repairing it the way that I use is to get a sample cut off of the actual siding, and we're going to use that to color match the paint. And I just went to Home Depot. The hole, you want to fill in a little bit. You can do this with cardboard, you can do it with foam, you can do it with spray foam. If it's a big hole, all you're doing is filling the void so that you're not going to pack it with a ton of endless putty. Now, the putty that we're going to use is called bondo, and it's the fiberglass bondo. So this is the stuff that I actually repair fiberglass boats with. Some Home Depots have it, otherwise you can get it online. It's just called bondo fiberglass. And you want to put on a decent amount. You want to actually let it stand a little bit proud, let it sit a little bit over. We're going to grind it down and sand it down to actual shape and size. Depending on how you mix in the hardener with that, it usually dries to where you can work with it and grind it within an hour. I'm using an angle grinder with a flap sanding wheel, an 80 grit flap sanding wheel. You don't have to. You could just do this with an oscillating sander. It's just a little bit faster with the angle grinder. You do have to be very careful with an angle grinder. You don't want to dig in too deep or ruin any more of the existing vinyl siding. And I'm just going to shape that bondo. Now, going into this, you have to realize you're going to do more than one coat of the bondo. I don't think I've ever been able to do one of these repairs with just the original coat. So I've done the basic sanding here. I'm going to give it one more coat just to fill in a couple of the extra voids that still showed through. And I'll walk away from this, let it dry for an hour or so. And once it's hard, I'll come back. I'll regrind. I'm just trying to make it flat. That bottom straight edge, just going to try to eyeball it straight. And then I'm going to use an oscillating sander with a 120 grit paper just to smooth out everything. Now it's ready for texture. Now, if you notice, and I didn't notice it at first, but surrounding the hole, the actual repair, the bondo filled in a lot of the grain on the vinyl siding. So it actually caused me to take an extra step. But if you notice it now, the way that I'm putting in these grooves is with a little Dremel grinder with a round bit. You could continue and put those grooves in the surrounding area where it had been filled in by the bondo. You'll see in a minute what I'm talking about. Now I'm going to paint it with the color-matched paint. I got this from Home Depot also. This will dry a little bit darker. And you don't have to buy a lot of it. They'll sell you a little sample container for, $4 or $5. And the color matching, at least at the Home Depot I use, is pretty spot on. Now I let this dry, and it looks good from a distance, but when you look close up, this is the actual repair, but immediately surrounding it, there's some smooth areas, and that's the area that filled in the texture with the bondo. So I'm just going to go and take another additional step. I'm going to go back with that little Dremel grinder, and I'm going to add some additional grooves or texture to mimic the texture of the wood grain that's on the vinyl siding on that surrounding area. And it doesn't have to be, 100% perfect. And once that's all done, I'll go back and I'll give it a second coat of the color matched paint. Now, this is not going to be an absolute perfect repair, but from a foot or two away, you would never notice it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. And please check us out on the web, DIYEasyCrafts.com. I've got a bunch of do-it-yourself projects on there. Thank you very much for watching.